when it comes to the Republican-led Congress, they're all for transparency as long as they're getting what they want. But as soon as the tables are turned, they begin to cry foul. And talk about the Democrats. Tyrone Bowman live. Let's get right down to the essence of this story. House Speaker Mike Johnson was forced to end the congressional session and head home and run for the hills because the Democrats were pushing and to force a vote on the Epstein files. Of course, the Republicans, they didn't want that to happen. The House will leave town early for its month-long summer break as members clash over the release of files related to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The lower chamber was originally scheduled to be in session through Thursday, but votes were scrapped as Democrats and some Republicans pushed for a floor vote to force the release of the Epstein files. Lawmakers will now head home until September 2nd, after votes on Wednesday afternoon. On Monday night, the Epstein, they were all in unison and on one accord when it came to releasing the FBI files on the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On Monday night, the Epstein controversy disrupted another House Rules Committee meeting, the last hurdle for most legislation before it gets a floor vote. When Democrats threatened to make Republicans take more uncomfortable votes on Epstein-related amendments, the committee instead recessed for the remainder of the week, blocking the House from passing legislation with a simple majority. The House can still pass or bypass the committee and approve non-controversial legislation with a 2/3 majority. Republicans are in trouble. And you all can believe it. You don't have to believe it. They are in serious trouble. When the midterm elections come up next year, all the gerrymandering is not going to stop them from losing seats all across the board, from the Senate to the Congress. They're going to lose control of Congress, and they're going to lose control of the Senate. People are fed up with Mike Johnson. This is a statement from Johnson. We all understand that the America First agenda and the American people are best served by putting an end to the Democrat sideshows. And that's what we're doing by not allowing the Rules Committee to continue with that nonsense this week. We're not going to let them use this as a political battering ram. The Rules Committee became the ground for them to do that. Johnson said, well, that's all you all have been doing, playing political football and political posturing. A bunch of pathetic cowards. Yes, I said it. They're a bunch of pathetic cowards. House Republicans last week offered a resolution that carries no legal weight to make the Epstein files public as they face increasing pressure on an issue that has split President Trump's base. But Johnson said there would not be a vote on the issue before Congress August recess. Why don't you just tell the truth? There won't be a vote at all. It's not going to happen. There's no purpose for Congress to push. You know what? And why should the Democrats go along with anything that you all want anyway? Why? If you all are the majority and you say you have all the votes and you have this such massive mandate, then why don't you all just go ahead and autonomously do what you want to do? Why do you need the Democrats to vote with you? The Democrats shouldn't be voting with you on anything. Last week, the Justice Department formally asked a federal judge to unseal transcripts from grand jury proceedings at the direction of Mr. Trump. Numerous lawmakers have said that their offices are fielding calls from constituents wanting more information released. Why would the public want grand jury or notes from the grand jury? The grand jury is nothing but a bunch of people coming together to decide whether a person should be held liable for something or they should be charged. We're not as dumb as you all think we are. Massey and Democratic Representative Ro Hanna of California introduced a measure that would force the Justice Department to release Epstein-related files within 30 days. Massey plans to force a floor vote on the legislation once lawmakers return in September. I want to see that fight when it happens. I am not quite certain that this strategy is, or what this strategy is. Johnson said, I don't understand Thomas and Massey's motivation. I really don't. I don't know how his mind works. I don't know what he's thinking. Thomas Massey could have brought his discharge petition anytime over the last 4.5 years. Well, he did it. He decided to do it now. He decided to leave Congress now because he's tired of y'all. That's why. When the speaker stands in the way of justice and transparency, this is how we get justice, Massey said this past Monday. Grand jury testimony is like one of 12 things that we need, he said. I do believe that there are some things that need to be brought into the American public's knowledge that have happened that will be embarrassing. Don't forget about what happened with Watergate and President Richard M. Nixon. Yeah, people don't want to be reminded of that, but I'm going to get some film footage to remind everybody of how Nixon was forced to resign the presidency. Because he lied. Nixon lied. He covered it up. The Watergate tapes came out that proved he was behind the break-in to the Democratic National Committee headquarters. He was given a full pardon. The deal was made for Ford to pardon Nixon, which he did. History repeats itself. You know why? Because people think that they're smarter than those who came before them. Politics is a dirty, filthy business, and the players in the game are just the same. Never surrender. Never quit.